Alright, Tom, I just want to go over the basics. This is my new Botgrinder Demibot frame. So that's it with the top plate. Just wanted to show the first thing you do is assemble your frame. So the frame's put together. Gonna put your motors on next. And get your wires. If you want to put some LEDs here, you can do that. If not, just run your wires straight. Then once you get your wires run, you're gonna have your electronics is here in the middle. So in here you have the bottom board, which is your ESC. Your motor wires, just solder onto that. I just solder them on left to right as they come out of the motor. And then that top board, that's your flight controller, your flight computer that controls everything as far as the drone's concerned. With modern day quads or drones, whatever you want to call it, the ESC plugs directly into the flight controller through this cable here. Back in the day, we had to put an ESC on each arm and then wire the ESC to the flight controller. However, now in modern times, we just plug in this cable in the front, and that connects our signal wires for our motors. It powers our flight controller. It puts battery voltage on the flight controller, and the flight controller, most of them have built-in voltage regulators, so it steps the voltage down. So as you can see here, let's see, right there, you have a 5-volt pad and a ground. And on this particular flight controller, it has a VTX, a battery, and a ground. That's where I would connect my video controller if I wanted it to get the video signal through the flight controller and the battery and ground power. On this side of this particular board, let's turn it around here, you have your pads. Now you're going to find these pads on all flight controllers. They're going to be labeled pretty much the same. You have your RI and TI on the left. That is your receive and transmit pads. Those are called UARTs. Right next to that we have R6 and T6. That's also a UART. So anything you see with the R and a T followed by a number, those are UARTs. That's basically serial communication between the flight controller and the device that you're connecting up. So in this case, I'm going to connect up a ELRS receiver. I'm going to connect the TX from the receiver. I'm going to connect that to the R here, and the T here, the T6, I'm going to connect to the RX on the receiver. And then I have my 5-volt power for the receiver, and I have a ground pad for the receiver. So those 4 pads right here, those are the pads that I'm going to use to connect my radio, my RC link to my quad for my radio. I also could attach the flight controller to this R1 and T1 pad, or I could connect it to the R4 and T4 here. So those are just different ways you can connect your ELRS receivers to your flight controller. These SD pads and SCO pads, those are used for GPS. So if you ever want to attach a GPS unit to your quad or drone, those are some of the pads you will use. You will also use R and T pad for those GPS connections. And here on this particular flight controller, it gives me some more 5-volt outs and a 3-volt pad. So depending on what you're connecting to your flight controller, you may have a 3-volt or a 5-volt pad that